Thank you for tuning in, Profe Gayu. And give me 1 second. I need to get this camera ready. So just bear with me as I make it happen. But so basically with this video, I am going to talk about my past 2 years here in the Dominican Republic. So essentially 2 years ago is when I started my transition. I decided, hey, I'm moving here to the Dominican Republic. I started my transition. This was actually just before the pandemic, but when the pandemic happened, that's where I basically sped things along and came out here sooner. All right, so let me get this camera right. Boom. Good. I'm good now. All right, I'm good now. So, like I said, basically with this live, I'm going to talk about the past 2 years of my time here in the Dominican Republic, my experiences, lessons learned. So basically, I'm gonna go over just everything. Basically, immediately. I mean everything. I'm going to go over during this live. So that's basically what this live is to go over all the things that I've learned during my time here, living here in DR and being here in DR. Everything. So to jump to the beginning. So while I was still on active duty with the Army, for those that I know, I was looking to make the move to DR. However, it was sort of a transition where, okay, I'm planning on moving to DR, but I'm going to move to DR in about 5 years. And the transition was for me was to move to, I was going to be taking a job in Puerto Rico. So when I finished with active duty, I was going to take a job in Puerto Rico. And then after a few years, make that transition over here. But everyone knows it was December 2019 when the coronavirus hit China. And when it hit China, people were thinking, oh, it's just in China, you know, it's far away from us here in the United States and in the Caribbean, so it ain't no thing. But in January, when they started seeing cases throughout Europe, and I remember Italy was the country that got hit hard with this coronavirus. And there were a few cases in other parts of Europe, and then in the U.S. and other places as well. But then you heard about the cruise ships and out in the Pacific, and then they went in, and then it just got crazy with the coronavirus, where it was everywhere. So coronavirus hit, pandemic hit, and basically I had to change my plans. So originally, like I said, I was going to leave active duty, move to Puerto Rico, work in Puerto Rico, and spend like weekends and a couple like once a month I come over to DR was a plan, and then eventually I made that full transition. But that didn't happen. So basically, I had to switch gears, and I just said, look, man, I'm moving to DR within 2 years. And I actually came out here within, I fully made this transition like about a year, maybe about a year and a half after I started. So with that said, the reason why I wanted to move here was many reasons. I came here years ago and I loved it. And just so you know, this is not my first time living abroad. I actually lived in Peru for a while. I was in the Peace Corps. So I went into the Peace Corps right after I got out of college. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time in the Peace Corps. Peru, I enjoyed the experiences I had in Peru, but Peru, it it wasn't a country that I would want to live in full time. Like I wouldn't want to go back to Peru to live there. Like it's just not my cup of tea. However, I definitely learned a lot being out there, learned a lot, learning abroad, being abroad, and I always wanted to live abroad. I mean, I remember being a kid, reading books and reading about the different cultures and countries and the languages and the people and the animals and the experiences and all that stuff. So I always wanted to get out of the U.S. and travel the world. And fortunately, when I was in college, I did a lot of traveling, and that ended up being why I joined the Peace Corps and lived in Peru for a while. So it wasn't a difficult transition in that sense of me being out of the United States. When I started my transition, I guess the more time I spent here is where, and I started doing new things here, is where I wouldn't say I had difficulties, but I had some annoyances. You know what I'm saying? For example, the driving. Man, I had someone break it down to me, summed up the driving in the Dominican Republic with one phrase: Mario Karts. So any of you Nintendo, Super Nintendo fans out there who have played Mario Karts, I believe it was on Game Boy too, who played Mario Karts, the driving here is exactly like that. Yes, there are laws, traffic laws, they gotta obey and all that stuff, but hardly anyone respects the traffic laws. Right away, red lights, stop signs, speed bumps, crosswalks. They just don't respect it. So it's driving here is like Mario Karts. I mean, basically you just drive however you want to drive and avoid getting hit and hitting someone else. That's it. That's driving here. That sums up driving here. That's why driving here is one of the most dangerous countries to drive in the world. So that was sort of the biggest thing. Like just getting in the car with an Uber or a taxi driver or just someone I know, and then like, I mean, just like, I mean, it's just bananas. It got to the point where I was like, I would never drive in this country, but now I am driving, and I actually prefer to drive because I have more confidence in my driving skills than the driving skills of some of these taxi drivers or Uber drivers or whatever. I'd rather be the one driving. And one thing I learned too was a lot of drivers here, especially like Uber drivers, they have a camera set up in their vehicle. So whenever they're driving, they got a camera set up. So in case something happens, in case there's some sort of collision or something like that, they got the camera going, and no one can BS their way into saying that, hey, it was his fault. Where he has the camera, that way the police and the insurance company and all that will be on his side or her side. So I've learned that too. So once I learned that, I learned that, hey, getting a car here, you got to have a camera. So yeah, the understanding how people drive here was definitely a shocker, and it's annoying to actually be in a vehicle with someone else, because I always feel like, like in the U.S. when I'm driving, I don't get that feeling of is my insurance good? Is my insurance in good standing? Do I need to up my insurance? Do I need to increase my policy or add this or add that? I didn't have that feeling in the U.S. Where here, I always feel like my life is at danger, when I'm on the road, because people just drive so crazy. It's insane. Another thing I learned here, being here, is people, people, they really drink a lot. And I knew that from coming here. I knew that from, in the Caribbean, that is a thing. People drink more than what I'm used to. But people here drink a lot. And you'll see, you'll get up in the morning, say, I get up in the morning and go for a run, or not a run, go for a walk. Or get up in the morning and just going about my day in the morning, and you'll see folks out there in the Comalo, like sitting down in the Comalo drinking. Or even over here, I'll see every once in a while you'll see some folks out on their patio or they what they call like the balcony or something and drinking, where people think they should be drinking coffee, right? Yeah, in the morning you should be drinking coffee or tea or whatever. No, they're drinking alcohol, they're drinking beer. Hell, I remember it was today's Saturday, so last Saturday or last Sunday, there's some park benches nearby where I live at, where people will go to like the park. It's like a little plaza, where they'll just sit there and sit in the plaza and talk and watch people walk by. Drink a little Brugal, rum, Barcelo, or have a beer, have a Presidente. I mean, it was about, I say about 11 o'clock in the morning. There was a table full of empty bottles. And I guess they were out there playing dominoes or cards or something. But damn, early in the morning, they had to have at least 20 empty bottles, like big bottles. And there was only 3 people there. So I don't know what time they got started, but they got started early and they were on it. So that is not uncommon here for people to just not only start drinking early in the morning, but they'll go throughout the day drinking beer or rum or whatever and not drink any water. So that's one of the things I learned here, which was surprising, that people drink as much as they do here. But let's get back to, I don't want to get off topic, but I want to get to some of the things that my experience and some things I learned. One thing that's really that still annoys me right now, but you sort of expected the behavior, but it still annoys me, is the institutions here, whether it's a bank or whether it's some sort of a government process, or wherever it is, you'll get the runaround. And man, and especially here when you're in Santo Domingo, where you're dealing with the traffic, and it takes so much patience and time just to get from point A to point B. And when you get from point A to point B, taking the time out of your day, and it's hot, you're sweating, and you're just dealing with this traffic. And you get there and they're like, yeah, the person, I can't help you. We have to work with that person. Like, for example, the bank, for example. I know I talk about the bank stuff, like, I deal with the bank or banks all the time. So those are like one of the biggest things, where the banking system is not like the U.S., where a lot of the stuff you can do with your bank application, like the online banking or whatever. A lot of stuff you can do there, and you don't have to go to the bank. There's no reason for you to actually go to the bank. It really isn't. But here, they don't have the same things. So if I need to do a bank transfer, or if there's something wrong with how come I can't see how come I can't enter my online banking or whatever, because of this or that, or it's not working, you got to go to the bank, which is annoying. So if you go to the bank for an issue, it's not like they say, hey, come back next week, and you come back next week and you could just get help from anyone at the bank. No, you got to go to the same person that helped you with that particular issue, that started to help you with that particular issue. So now that is your point person. So if she's on break, or if she's not working that day, or she on vacation, your stuff is on hold until she gets back to work. That's some of the annoyances that you get that gets annoying, right? So I found myself wasting a lot of time. Recently, I had to go get or my wife had to go get a birth certificate. So we had just gotten a birth certificate for her a week before, but we had to get a new one for a different reason. We go to the same place to get the birth certificate, and they're like, nope, can't issue it. You because of this is not right. This. You got to go upstairs to get this fixed. I'm like, what? We were just here last week when they picked up a birth certificate. No. It's something's wrong with this date and that date. She has to go someplace else to get it fixed. What is this? And how many times she's gotten a birth certificate, throughout the years? She has a passport, all this stuff without any issue, and now there's a problem. So they're dealing with the institutions where you get the runaround, or there is no standardization. Like a lot of these institutions are lacking standardization, and then they're unable to, I guess, have give good service to the public. Yeah, I just went away for a while. Now I'm back. All right. Yeah. So if they had some sort of just like, I don't know, pride and customer service, or serving the public in some of these places, man, things will run a lot smoother. I say that. But not to just keep ranting about that. So those are some of these things, like just lack of standardization within its institutions. Look, DR can do a lot better with having standardization. A lot better. But one thing I do like is, look, man, people don't take a lot of things serious here. I really like that. I mean, at the same token, where I'm talking about the annoyances I have with the bank, I mean, at the same time, the bank will be on fire, and people will be like, yeah, the bank is on fire. Like it wouldn't be a thing. So, see what else here. I mean, the obvious thing here, why I learned that the cost of living is cheap for the most part. Whether you're talking about rent, whether you're talking about services, it's cheap. It's really cheap. It's not like in the U.S. where, anytime you look to do something, you're going to spend at least $100. Where here it's not like that. It's not like that at all. What else? Before I got off track. Let's see if I got anyone in the chat. But I can tell you these past 2 years have been real good. These past 2 years have been really good. I wouldn't change anything at all. I wouldn't change anything at all. However, I would have liked to have known about a lot of things here in DR earlier, and I would have liked to just been able to start that transition earlier than what I actually did start. That I believe would have made my transition a bit smoother. But let me check the chat to see if there's anyone in the chat, because I haven't checked the chat yet. I'm bringing the chat up right now. Let's see if there's anyone in here. And I got one person, hey, what's up? What's going on? You got any questions? Comments? Anything at all? Una pregunta, un comentario, cualquier cosa. Eso para la gente que no habla inglés, básicamente estoy hablando sobre mi experiencia en mis últimos 2 años aquí en este país. Hace 2 años yo decidí que me voy a mudarme aquí más pronto, más rápido. Antes, como en 2019, o 2018, yo decidí que, mira, yo voy a mudarme aquí a Santo Domingo en 5 años. Y cuando vino la pandemia, las cosas cambió y yo decidí que me voy a mudarme aquí en como 2 años. Y me mudé aquí en 1 año y medio. Y ahora yo estoy hablando sobre mis experiencias, las cosas que yo he aprendido durante este tiempo aquí. Y eso es. So I don't want to lose some of the people that speak English, even though I only have one person in the chat right now. But I think one of the big things that I realized, there's 2 experiences here in this country for foreigners, for foreigners to move here. And I feel like those foreigners who move here that don't speak any Spanish, I feel like it's not assimilating, but getting settled in the country, in the culture, and society here is a bit of a challenge because of that language barrier. And because I don't have that language barrier, I feel like my experience has been a bit it's just different. Like, for example, I'm not around any foreigners at all. Of course, I know a few foreigners, but I'm not in the community of foreigners, so therefore, I don't have that. What do you call that expat circle where we get together and hang out and have lunch once in a while or do activities together, etc. Because there's probably in my residence. There's probably some expats. I'm pretty sure there are. I know there's some folks here that speak English. There's some Dominicans here that speak English, but I don't know if there are any necessarily foreigners who are not Dominicans that live here. So therefore, I don't have that circle. So therefore, I don't have that English speaking experience here in DR. My experience here is totally Spanish speaking. I'm amongst Dominicans. And it's just a different experience. I would like to every once in a while have some sort of like expat or expat group nearby, where every once in a while I like to be able to get together with them and just learn from their experiences, because I'm very curious of their experiences, of how they've adapted and dealt with certain things, and maybe I can learn a bit and also teach a little bit about my experiences, and maybe they can learn from me as well. That exchange, I think it's really good for not only the transition, but just and further settling down and learning stuff and all that stuff here in DR. Because when you're amongst a bunch of Dominicans, you're not getting that. It's hard to, like, some of the experiences that you have, they may not be able to basically understand or identify with those experiences, because they're Dominican and they're not, foreign, and they're not coming from somewhere else and coming here. But, you know, overall, I mean, the experience has been good. Uh, I wouldn't change the decision for the world. I mean, I feel like it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And things are moving along, and I'm excited about all the future here, most definitely. And being here and seeing all the craziness that's going on in the U.S., I'm always, just shaking my head like, damn, I'm glad I'm not there. And I'm glad my daughter's not there either. Like, she doesn't have to deal with that stuff. So yeah. So get back to what I'm saying, what I was talking about, the experiences in transition. Just to go back to the whole expat thing, I think that's the sort of I probably envy those folks, those communities where there's a lot of where they sort of like get together and like learn from one another, etc. Because I feel like they have a lot of fun. Where I don't say it's not like I don't have fun here, but it's very like I live a very, very laid back lifestyle where I don't do a whole lot. But it seems like a lot of those folks will be having fun, but having so much fun probably means that they'll probably spend a lot more money too, like living like a tourist. Because I feel like every once in a while when I go out to Puerto Plata, or when I go to places like Boca Chica or where I've gone recently, Las Terrenas, I feel like in a lot of those places, those expats, many expats, not all of course, many of them that live in those places, which are tourist places, tend to live like a tourist. But they're expats, but they live like a tourist, where their budget is like a tourist, where they're spending money every day, eating out every day, drinking every day, hanging out every day. Where, when you're living here, you could be saving money. I mean, that's the whole point of being in a country like this, where you can take advantage of the economy, and really save money and use that money to invest and live in ways that you could not live in the United States. So, with that said, I don't envy that part, but every once in a while, man, you want to get out there and just, see experience something different and see how other folks are living. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in Puerto Plata, and we went out to, one afternoon we went out to Sosua, Ocean Village. And so Sosua Ocean Village, they have this restaurant. I'm not going to say the name because I know I told me, hey, I don't want you out there promoting this place. This place is dope, and I don't want people to be coming out here and messing things up over here. So I don't remember the name of the restaurant anyway, but there's a restaurant in Sosua Ocean Village. Man, that place is the bomb. It's laid back. There's not a lot of knuckleheads there, out there acting ignorant, doing like stupid stuff. It's really, really, really laid back and cool. I mean, the view was amazing. So it's probably a secret, a well-kept secret as that about Sosua Ocean Village, which basically is a private community. But anyone can basically go there as of right now, or at least as of 2 weeks ago, with their ID and go to the. They have some various restaurants and establishments on that in that private community. So yeah, I recommend it. I recommend it because it's a nice place. But I would like to go out and see more of those hidden jewels in the country. Would you see a lot of my videos and my channels when I do get out? I tend to go to resorts because a lot of people like to see what resorts look like. And because of my situation, I'm able to go to some of these resorts, if not for free, to next to nothing. And I'm able to basically like just get out there and experience that. And I want to share that experience with you all, because I know some of you all, whether you're living in the US or Canada or where else, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Germany, France, Russia. A lot of you who travel here to the Dominican Republic a lot, or the Caribbean, or like to travel, and you want to go to a resort. I want to be a resource for you all to be able to check out, you know, the different resorts here in the Dominican Republic, because I live here. I mean, it's nothing to me to take a weekend or a night, you know, go out on a Friday night or Saturday night and stay at a resort, record it, and be able to put it on my channel, so that if folks want to go out there, hey, I want to see what Vista Sol Resort, what does that look like? They go to Google, look it up, and boom, pop up my channel. I got a video on that, you know, and basically me walking around, showing you this, showing you that, talking about this, talking about that, the rooms, the food, the beach. That way you'll have an idea of what it looks like before you get here. Because I realize a lot of resorts falsely advertise their place. They'll show you like a place of like a crystal blue water, white sand beaches, and all that. And when you get there, the beach is all brown, like the water is all brown, the beach is brown, they got seaweed up to here, and this place is not what it seems. So I like to be able to make those videos so that folks can, you know, use me as a resource to figure out what it's like. Because I don't like that false advertising, man. They've got me a few times with that. At the same time, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan of the resorts. I'm not a big fan of resorts. I wouldn't stay at a resort for a week. Just the resort is not my thing. The one good thing I do like the resorts is that if you want to just get away for a night, a resort is a good option, because you can go there, you can drink all you want, and you can eat all you want. And you know, no one has to cook, no one has to clean. You can just go out there and just relax and just chill, which is good. That's one of the things I've learned and what I've been doing here in the Dominican Republic. Before I moved here, I've never been to a resort, and still I've never been on a cruise. I'd like to go on a cruise at some point just to have the experience, but from what I understand, it's just like being on a resort, going on a boat. So my first resort was here in the Dominican Republic, and I've gone to many resorts ever since, and probably about 50% of resorts I've gone to, I've actually done a video on there, and it's actually on my channel. All right, but yeah, I love to be able to get out once in a while, but I want to be able to find these hidden jewels, because I realize on these expat forums that I'm on, and a lot of YouTube videos I see, a lot of people are interested in, like, they don't want to go to, I mean, a lot of folks want to go to Punta Cana, La Romana, Boca Chica, Puerto Plata, Sosúa, Cabarete, Las Terrenas, Samaná. You know, they want to go to these places. However, they prefer, a lot of other people prefer those hidden jewels that no one knows about, so that there's not a lot of tourists and not a lot of people gravitate to that place to, you know, for tourism or, you know, for begging or stuff like that. So that you'll be seeing more and more on my channel real soon, once I start having the opportunity to get around more. What else? I mean, I made plenty of videos on the banking system, so I don't want to, you know, beat that dead horse, but I can talk about that for hours, just because the various experiences I've had. But one thing I will say in this video is if you haven't already, check out one of my many videos on opening up a bank account or talking about establishing credit here, or etc. One thing I can just say is, if you are living here, you need to establish yourself here. You just got to do it, and don't just take it from me. Talk to other expats who have citizenship or who have residency here, and they will tell you the same thing. Because real talk, man, there's a lot of foreigners living in the U.S. and they don't have a residency. They don't have a citizenship. They here on that tourist visa, which expires after 30 days. And I know that there's been a push by the expat community to have some sort of like expat visa where they can stay for a long period of time on some sort of easy to get expat visa that's not like the tourist visa that's just good for 30 days. But I mean, there's no movement on that. So a lot of people, they just stay here however long. Some people stay here for years, and then when they leave the country, they just pay that or visa overstay fee, and then come back and do the same thing. And their argument is, hey man, the process to get residency here is a pain. So I just said, forget it. I mean, I've been doing this for years, overstaying my visa, paying the fee, overstaying my visa, paying the fee, overstaying my visa, paying the fee, and it's been working out for me. I mean, I get it. I mean, that residency process, that visa process and that residency process is a pain. But I mean, hell. Hey, what up, Gil? What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in, man. All is good, brother. All is good. I'm chilling, just rambling about my experience here, past 2 years in DR and lessons learned and stuff like that. What's good, man? You got any questions? You got any comments? Well, if you got any questions, brother, you got any comments, brother, let me know. And I appreciate you tuning in, man. I really do. But like I was saying, man, yeah, a lot of folks just overstay their visa, and they prefer to do that because they don't want to go through the hassle of going through the residency process. And yeah, man, it's a headache. But I mean, if you want to be here, I think it's best. It makes more sense to be here legally so that you can actually, be a part of society. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, it just makes more sense. You want to just be here and be a part of society, because when you don't have legal status, but basically in illegal status, you can't do anything. You can't open up a bank account. You can't. A lot of folks won't rent to you. You can't, and if they won't rent to you, what does that mean? That means, I guess that you'll always find someone that'll rent to you, but a lot of folks will not rent to you. And dealing with the government, anything with the government, they're going to check your passport and see that you overstay your visa. So therefore, they're not really going to deal with you. I mean, you're just going to be outcasted in society. You know how in the U.S. where you have a lot of those undocumented immigrants that are there, they can't get an ID. Some places won't even let their kids go to school. You can't work. I mean, you just out there in society. I mean, you exist, but you don't really exist because you're undocumented. You don't have legal status. So it's in your as an immigrant, as an expat, it's in your best interest to have legal status. And I'm not saying this because I'm actually going through the process, but I'm saying this because I've heard lawyers talk about this here in DR, and I'm on plenty of these expat forums, online, and I mean, a lot of them say the same thing. I mean, yeah, we've gone through the process. It's annoying, and you hear all these horror stories, and people spending all this money and all this. But I mean, you do what you got to do. And me, when I went through the process, if you don't already know, I went through the process without a lawyer. In the U.S. side, when I was in the U.S., reached out to the embassy in D.C., figure out what I need. They gave me a list of stuff. I got all my stuff together, turned it in, and they took my passport and said, "Hey, we'll call you back in 15 days." A month and a half later, they called me back, said, "Hey, your visa and your passport is ready to get picked up." I picked it up. They gave me copies of the stuff I turned in, and they said, "Hey, you go to DR and start the residency process." So I got hooked up with a lawyer here, and the lawyer was annoyed by me because I guess I ain't have all my stuff together, because the guy at the embassy in DC was like, "Look, just turn this shit in and you good." So I did that, and the lawyer guy here in Santo Domingo was like, "Man, you need this and this and this." And then I guess when I turned it in, like the scan copies weren't scanned right, or they were like badly scanned or whatever. You know, I ain't got no scanner here, so I go to a little shop to get all my shit scanned, right? Well, he was annoyed by it was inefficient. So I guess after that meeting, I don't know if it was that, or if he felt that I was difficult, or if he felt like he had to put more work in my case. Whatever the case was, he was like, he ain't want to represent me. Well, he didn't say it. His assistant said that, and he gave me back my money. Cool, because I could do it myself, and honestly, I wanted to do it myself, but because I don't know the Dominican system, I just felt it was easier because so many other expats use a lawyer. I felt it was easier to use a lawyer. But when he did that, I was like, shit, I'll do it myself. I got Dominicans telling me, yo, you know, there's a lot of foreigners, a lot of Haitians that go through the process and they don't use a lawyer. So I was like, okay, I'll do it myself. So I did it myself, and that was it. So I saved a lot of money doing it myself. So that I will always recommend. If you are going to get the residency here in DR, do it yourself. I'm always going to recommend to do it yourself. What's up, Gil? Gil said, I am considering a partial move down there. I still have some things in the States that would not be feasible for me to go down there full time. Hey, brother, I understand that. That's why when I started my transition 2 years ago, I was here part-time. So 2 years ago, when I started my transition, I got an apartment. I got a bank account. You know, I saw all that transition. And then when I was ready to make that move full-time, that's when I actually got the visa. But yeah, man, even if it's just part-time, man, I still recommend doing the visa and the residency process full time, the residency process, because even if you're down here part time, you still wanna be a part of Dominican society, and it's so good to have your residency and have a settler, and because when you got a settler, man, that shows that you got residency here. So basically, in all forms. In most forms, you're a Dominican. You just don't vote. Yeah, you just can't vote. And you have a passport from another country. That's the only thing. So it is in your best interest to just actually start it. So, my man, if you're only going to be here, 3 months out of the year, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months out of the year, I think it's in your best interest to even just do the process. Yeah, 1 to 3 times a year. Hey, so when you come down here, man, how long do you stay? You come down here for a week, or are you one of those guys that come down here for like a month? So I said, if you're only here for like a week, even if you're only here for a month at a time when you come here, a week at a time, that's good, brother. I recommend if you haven't done so already, just open a bank account. Open a bank account, because once you have opened a bank account, that then you know that, hey, I'm starting this process, and it helps you with money. A lot of folks don't like to they go to they really picky about how they bring their money here. So let me ask you a question. When you come to DR, do you bring cash, or do you just take money out of the ATM, or do you Western Union, or send money through Caribbean Express? How do you get your money here? Because I find, for me personally, I find it best to wire my money to my Dominican account. Yeah, I find it best to wire my money to my Dominican account, and I'll take out cash with my Dominican debit card, and take out cash out of the ATM like that. That way, if I have an issue with the ATM in DR, I can deal with it here in DR, and not have to deal with the US. And one of the big things too, I highly recommend too, watch out for the ATMs, and only use those ATMs that are actually like inside the bank. Because if you use like some of those ATMs that are outside in the middle of nowhere, or just hanging out, I feel like they're more vulnerable for folks to who want to take your information, and they will tamper with the ATM. Yeah, I use Remitly. I use Remitly, and I use Ria Money Transfer. Ria Money Transfer is cheaper, and it's faster. So there's various things you can do. You can I can use my debit card or credit card from the US using Ria Money Transfer and Remitly, and I can send money to a bank. So if I don't have a bank account here, I can send money to Banco Popular or Banco BHD, and then when I get to DR, I can go to that bank and pick up my money. So that is also useful too. It will keep you from having to pay those ATM fees, here and there. And also I think the largest amount you can send is like $3,000. So if you're here for a week, I don't foresee you spending more than $3,000 in a week, unless you just out here just really doing it up. You can send that to a bank here, and go there and pick it up, and you can send the money using Remitly or Ria Money Transfer. Ria Money Transfer is only $3 a transaction. So take it out. Just imagine that you can send $3,000 and pay $3, and you just go and pick it up in pesos from the Dominican bank, and you're good. If you had a bank account, you can just use the same platform, and it'll be deposited into your account basically instantly. But Ria Money Transfer is almost instant. I mean, you're talking about like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour. Where Remitly, it may be like the next day. So yeah, man, because I don't like using my US debit card here. If I use anything US, it'll be a US credit card. So I try to keep everything Dominican here. Even when I was just when I just started my transition, I was doing the same thing because yeah, man, it just helps. It just saves a little bit of money with the exchange rate and ATM fees. What else was I talking about? Yeah, Western Union, man. Western Union is expensive. Western Union is expensive. You can definitely save a lot of money if you're using Remitly or Ria Money Transfer, or basically having the money sent to a bank, and then you come here and pick it up. Not a bank account, the actual bank. And then you get here, show your passport, and then you'll be able to pick up the money there. So basically, you're just sending it to yourself. But don't send it to Banco Reserva. Banco Reserva. Don't send it there. Because I know you know, man, those lines are long, man. Banco Reserva, those lines are long. Man, they got the, man, and they don't care Banco Reserva, man. They'll have you waiting outside in the sun. Don't send your money there. If you send your money, I recommend sending your money to Banco Popular. And if you can't send it to Banco Popular, send it to Scotia Bank or Banco Santa Cruz or those banks. They really don't have a lot of folks. BHD Leon, they tend to have a lot of folks, but not as much as Banco Reserva. Go on. I mean, man, you'll be there all day, man. Shit, I was in Banco Reserva earlier today trying to fix it, trying to fix the issue. Man, wasted all my time waiting in line, man. I get there, the goddamn system is down. Yeah, the system is down. See, this is the kind of BS you deal with. The system is down, so I wasted hours just to get there, and the system is down. So now I go back another day. I'm telling you, man, those are some of the annoyances. Look, man, I'm glad I moved here. I'm glad I made a transition, but those are some of the annoyances you deal with when you get to the bank and you've been waiting hours to get your issue taken care of, and the goddamn system is down. But yeah, man, hey brother, make that part-time move, and if you can make it full-time, man, make it full-time, man. I highly recommend it. So when you hear, man, where do you go? Where do you go, Gil? Do you go to are you in the capital where I'm at, or you go to up to the North Coast, or you prefer places like out on the East Coast, like Bávaro and Punta Cana, or you prefer like Las Arenas, or you prefer like Santiago? Where do you prefer to go? Where do you spend most of your time here when you come in? Well, I'll tell you this. When my first trip to DR was Santo Domingo. So I spent a week in Santo Domingo, and then I had planned to go to Puerto Plata and Sosúa for a couple of days. And I actually was there for one day because I ain't like it up there that much. Because Santo Domingo was bigger, it has much more to offer. I enjoyed Santo Domingo much more, and I enjoyed the fact that if I wanted to go to the beach, there's Boca Chica, which is not far away from Santo Domingo. And even though Boca Chica is not, I guess it's not as, the beach is all right, but I guess Boca Chica itself is not as pleasant, because there's a lot of congestion, a lot of people tend to go there from the capital, which is just not, it's already congested in the capital. So you go out there to the beach on a Sunday, the whole damn capital city of Santo Domingo and the metro area goes to Boca Chica. So it's just like, it's definitely not laid back. If you want to go to, if you are ever in Santo Domingo, just hanging out, or whatever, go to Boca Chica during the week. Go to Boca Chica during the week, because if you go to Boca Chica on a Sunday, it's a good experience, but it's super crowded. Everybody and their mama there, and it's just too much going on. A lot of people out there begging, and it's congestion, really congested, and it's just difficult to find parking and stuff like that. Hey, so is anyone else out there besides Gil? Because I'm trying to figure out where does Gil hang out at when he comes to DR. But anyone else out there? I see we got about 5 people in the chat right now. Tenemos 5 personas en el chat. Alguien tiene una pregunta sobre cualquier cosa. Ahora que estoy hablando de mi experiencia y estoy hablando sobre las cosas con con los bancos y como una persona viajando por aquí puede aprovechar sacando dinero y, y, y cosas así. So, does anyone have any questions? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep talking about just my transition, my experiences, and things that I've learned. So, so one of the coolest things I've learned here is that people here, man, people here generally are really good people. And I know that people, when foreigners come here, I guess they will definitely get the feeling that people are gravitated to them because they want to take advantage of them. They want to take their money, or they're trying to get a piece of, whatever. They're trying to get some money from you, right? And you definitely have that. But there's a lot of people who are good-hearted people, that are hardworking people, that, man, they just want to enjoy themselves and live life, and they ain't trying to like take nothing from nobody. And that's one of the coolest things I've learned here. And I guess one of my favorite experiences. I've got a lot of really good experiences I can talk about. And man, I'm gonna be on this live for a long time. So it is what it is. One of my favorite experiences here is actually talking to people. And I probably talk to people like Dominicans, like strangers, that more so in an Uber. When I'm in an Uber or using Uber and InDriver. And man, these folks, man, who are a wide variety of folks. Some folks there, they just started driving, or they was living in the United States or another country, and they came back or doing this. Or some folks who are retired when they're doing this on the side, or got another job and doing this on the side. And I really enjoy that experience. Just talking to folks and learning about folks. They have a lot of jewels to offer about the country, about their experiences and stuff like that. And more recently, I've seen more female Uber drivers and female female drivers using InDriver, which is something I haven't experienced during my time here up until recently. Not that I have more female drivers than male drivers, but definitely have a lot more female drivers than I've ever seen. But no, this experience here in Dominican Republic has been amazing. It's definitely been amazing. One other thing is picking up the Dominican language. I'm not going to say Spanish. The Dominican language is definitely I've definitely come a long way. It's one thing when you live in the States, and me, being a huge fan of urban la música urbana, el reggaeton y bachata y cosas así. I've understood a lot of Dominican words. So if someone would say, dame esa vaina, I know, oh yeah, that's a Dominican, because only Dominicans speak like that, like vaina. Only Dominicans use that term. You don't hear Puerto Ricans speaking like that because Puerto Ricans don't use that term. You don't hear Mexicans speaking like that because Mexicans don't use that term. So just stuff like that, I knew like Dominican words. But coming here, you learn so much more. So it was good to have that experience from me living in the States. I knew that, certain stuff, but being here, I just learned so much more. And you just learn Dominican language, and the way the rhythm of how they speak, and the way they speak, and how they speak fast. How people in the capital city, they tend to not pronounce the R. They tend to change the R to an L. So they'll say something like la esquela, toma la esquela. No, doble la esquela. they don't pronounce the R. The R becomes an L. And then when you go out to the east side, where they have like Bauro, Punta Cana, Higüey, por ahí, over there, they actually the R becomes an E. The R becomes an E. And then when you go up north, the way you have like Puerto Plata, Santiago, the R is silent. So there's a silent R. And then when you go out to what they call the south, or what I would call the west, right, where you have like San Juan, Barahona over there, Asua, they tend to roll that, or they stress the R, right? They do the R, all that when it's not necessary. They stress the R. So even in DR, I've learned how like the different Dominicans speak. So I'm not as good as some Dominicans. Most Dominicans are, where they're able to like say, hey, they're Cibao, which is the north, or they're from the south, El Sur, the south, which is like San Juan, Asua, Barahona over there. I'm not as good as some of those Dominicans, but I definitely picked up on the R. So if I hear the R, I'll be like, all right, this person's from Cibao, or this person's from the east, or this person is from the south, or this person from Santo Domingo. So that's one cool thing I've learned, which it took about 2 years for me to get that, but I picked up on it. Another thing too is you'll find here is even right now, I cannot tell the difference between if a person not by. It's sort of like the U.S. In the U.S., you can never tell the difference if a person is a foreigner in the U.S. or if a person is like born in the U.S. Like you don't know, you really don't know. The same as here. You don't know until someone speaks or until someone tells you, right? So I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell the difference between Haitians and Dominicans. Can't until a Haitian speaks and they speak with that strong French Creole undertone. Then I'll be able to say, oh, okay, that person Haitian. But apart from that, I don't know. A lot of Haitians dress like a lot of Dominicans. And when the Venezuelans and the Colombians come here, they dress like a lot of Dominicans. So it's really difficult to know who is who until they speak. So don't make those assumptions. A lot of Dominicans make assumptions. I realize that. And a lot of foreigners too. Like you can't make those assumptions. Just like we in the U.S., you can't make those assumptions. You can't say that, hey, this person is this or that, because you really just don't know. You really don't know. You can't just look at color, or you can't look at you can probably look at like their style or the way they wear their clothes and stuff like that, but even that is difficult, right? So that's one thing I've learned. And then this is a side story. A lot of I don't want to call it, it's not racism. Maybe it's colorism, but it's not racism. Where you'll find that I don't want to touch that right now. I'll say that for another video, because there is this colorism in the U.S., especially in the black community, in the U.S. and the Latin community in the U.S. Good, where I haven't had. You get treated different. Like you. It doesn't matter that I speak Spanish. Yeah, I speak Spanish, but when I speak, they don't care about that. Even if I was Dominican, say I was born Dominican or I had Dominican parents, even if I was Dominican, they'd be like, he ain't Dominican. Because you know why? Because the way I speak Spanish. I speak Spanish as if I'm from somewhere else. Even if I was Dominican, even if my whole family was Dominican, my parents Dominican, doesn't matter. I'm not Dominican because of the way I speak. And because of that, you'll get a different price. And you'll get treated differently. It could be in your favor. It could be not in your favor. But you'll get treated differently because you are a foreigner. Because you do not speak like a Dominican. And I'm going to go deeper into that. But let me just say this. If you do not speak like a Dominican, essentially you're not Dominican. Yeah, you can be a Dominican national. Yeah, you can have Dominican citizenship. Yeah, your parents could be Dominican. Yeah, your whole family could be Dominican. But because essentially you're not Dominican, that's one thing which is really, really interesting. And I actually want to do a video talking about that. You know, Dominican identity, what is Dominican, and all this stuff. But I do want to go into this. So one thing I've learned, I've seen here, that I've also seen a lot in the U.S. And it's true in many other countries too. But I'm specifically talking about here in the U.S. One thing I have seen a lot of is a lot of people, even though they may be really intelligent and really bright and smart and have the ability to execute and use their intelligence in a good way, many people choose to act ignorant and be ignorant or pretend to be ignorant. So what I notice a lot here is being smart and being intelligent in much of the country and much of the population of the country is considered, it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon to be smart. It's frowned upon to be knowledgeable. It's frowned upon to speak well. It's frowned upon to be articulate. Because I mean, just like you see in the U.S., where especially talking about the black community in the U.S., a lot of people feel the need to dumb down themselves, and speak, incorrectly and act stupid and act ignorant to be able to fit in or to be seen as cool. You'll see that a lot in the U.S. Man, that same BS happens here, and you see it a lot. You'll see it in whether you're talking about in the music, you'll see it in on TV, you'll see it in social media, you'll see it whether you in society here, where it's frowned upon to be smart and articulate. So I had a conversation with this one Dominican Uber driver. He had recently got back from. I guess he was living in the U.S. for a while, but he got back here and he was saying how a lot of Dominicans they choose, not that they can't, they choose not to speak correctly. They choose to speak in an ignorant fashion, just so they can fit in with certain groups of society, just so they can be seen as cool, right? And he was saying this because he was saying how, because the way he was speaking, I was like, dude, where you from? Because you speak like the dude spoke very proper Spanish, very proper, very clear, very proper. And I had not personally met many men. You'll meet females that speak like that, many women that speak like that. But it's rare for me personally, rare to find really many men, Dominican men, that spoke in the correct way. So when he was speaking to me, he was like, "Nah, man, I'm Dominican. Just that I speak proper." And I was like, "Yeah, you speak proper, all this." And he was just saying how a lot of Dominicans choose not to speak proper because it's not the cool thing to do. It's cool to be dumb. It's cool to act stupid. It's cool to be ignorant, and you'll see that portrayed in all the social media and the music. And when you see that, you have all these young kids looking up, idolizing these people, and not only kids, grown ass people, you know, with kids and grandkids, idolizing these people who are acting dumb and acting stupid and being ignorant and embarrassing themselves and purposely speaking incorrectly when they have the ability to be better and put on a better example and for, you know, younger people, society, etc. But it's the same stuff you see in the U.S. Exact same thing. So that's one thing I've learned here during my time in DR. One other thing, like I said earlier, I'm big in, well, I've always been in the, like, the music ever since I was in high school. The music I've listened to is basically just hip hop and Caribbean music of all sorts, including Dominican music. And Dominicans love their music. Dominicans love their bachata. Dominicans love their older, I mean, I guess you could say young folks too, but mostly I've seen that older folks are more into the merengue more. But definitely young folks around my age, definitely into the bachata and into the you know, the reggaeton and the Latin hip hop, specifically Dominican hip hop and Puerto Rican hip hop. And you'll find that, man, those Puerto Rican, those Dominican artists, they have a lot of a strong fan base here, and man, they get idolized to the point where you see that, like, they're basically idolized more than any other famous figure in the country, hands down. And this reminds me of being in the U.S., where you see sort of the same stuff, where you'll see like supermodels and, you know, sports stars and all that stuff. They get idolized in a way that, you know, when you have, you know, people who are, I guess, doing more for society, I would say, will not get that same idolization or respect or notoriety. And it's the same here. I've seen the same thing here. But not to get too far off topic, I just wanted to touch on that. I got anyone in the chat? Anyone got any questions? Cualquier pregunta, comentarios sobre cualquier cosa. Ahora que estaba hablando de cómo el público o la pública trata las artistas de la música mejor que otra gente famosa en la sociedad aquí. Me di cuenta de eso. Pero es la misma cosa en Estados Unidos también. So básicamente eso es lo que yo estoy hablando. Pero cualquier cosa, si ustedes tienen una pregunta, un comentario, aquí estoy. So if you guys got any questions, whatever, any questions, any comments, any corrections, you know, let me know. I ain't going nowhere because I ain't got shit else to do. So what was I talking about? Yeah, so to get back on track, well, stay on track. One of the cool things I like about being here is, and even when I was living in Peru, I didn't experience this. Here, the weather doesn't really change. It's pretty much the same all year round. hot. Maybe certain parts of the year, maybe a little hotter than other parts of the year. Um, it may be certain parts of the year may get darker earlier than other parts of the year. Some parts of the year maybe rain a little bit more than other parts of the year. But for the most part, the weather doesn't change. It's the same. It's predictable. I like that. The weather is predictable. What you have in the U.S., specifically living in the D.C. area, man, you better watch the weather report because it will change. Now in the summer it's basically hot, hot, humid. That's the summer. But the other parts of the year, it can be cold, it can be warm, it can be cool, it can be hot, it can be rainy, it can be snowy, and you gotta watch the weather to make sure you're prepared to go outside and have the right clothing and stuff. But here, you ain't gotta worry about that. It's the same. That's the beauty of being here in the Caribbean. It's the same. I love that. I love that. Even though it's hurricane season right now, I'm part of the STEP program. So with the embassy, U.S. embassy here. So basically, whenever the U.S. embassy wants to put out information, they'll shoot information out, and it'll go to everyone who lives in the country that's registered with the embassy. And they just sent out a message maybe last week about, hey, hurricane season just started. It's expecting to be. We're expecting to see such and such amount of thunderstorm. No, such and such amount of tropical storms and such amount of minor hurricanes and heavy hurricanes in the Caribbean region. So, what that said is, yeah, there's going to be some hurricanes. There's hurricanes every year, but there may be a lot more. Maybe more than usual this year than I guess it has been in previous years, and we got to be on alert. Now, hurricanes, have I seen in recent years, hurricanes don't really hit much of the yard the way they hit other parts of the Caribbean. What gets hit hard is definitely the lower Antilles, like places like Grenada, St. Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Saint Martin, Virgin Islands. Those lower Antilles, they get hit pretty bad because they're basically like the barrier. But once it hits those islands, the hurricanes tend to weaken a little bit. And when it hits Puerto Rico is another breaker because that's the first big island of the Antilles, the larger Antilles. So once it hits Puerto Rico, it lessens a bit. So then when it goes up to Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, it's usually less if it hits Puerto Rico. Like it weakens after it hits Puerto Rico. But if it doesn't hit Puerto Rico, it tends to be stronger as it goes through the Bahamas into Florida and stuff like that. Now, if the hurricane is coming in this direction towards Hispaniola, it's usually weakened after it hits the lower Antilles and Puerto Rico. So that's why in recent years, strong hurricanes hurricanes in particular haven't really hit the Dominican Republic or Haiti because it's usually weakened by the time it gets to that point. Yeah, maybe a tropical storm, and believe me, it floods here. It doesn't take much rain to flood because their sewer system is not as advanced as it is in the United States, for example. So a little bit of rain and it's flooding everywhere on the streets, everywhere. So if you were in a place where you're not like up on a hill, it's going to flood. But oftentimes that flooding, it goes away once the sun comes out. It goes away pretty quickly, depending on how much it rains. So one thing, I think a lot of people they choose not to live in the Dominican Republic, and they'll choose a place like what other place in they'll choose a place like you can say Colombia, maybe where is it cheap? Brazil, maybe someplace in Central America like Panama or Costa Rica, Mexico, or over in Asia where they have places like the Philippines and maybe Vietnam, Thailand, or Korea, Japan, stuff like that. Well, those are expensive places. But a lot of people would choose to live in those places rather than the Dominican Republic because the infrastructure is better. And when I say better, the infrastructure, it's just that over time the country has used much of its budget to improve the infrastructure, the roads, sewer system, and all that stuff. What up, Gil? So Gil just said something. He said that I used to live in the DMV, and I agree, tired of the cold. Yeah, man. So in the DMV, it's only cold during the winter. The spring and the fall, it doesn't really get that cold. It's the winter. But at the same time, in the winter, you'll have warm days in the winter too. So you got to be on alert with the weather for that day because the weather there changes so much. It's not like if you're in like South Florida where at least it's somewhat predictable. Where in the DC area, man, it can change. I know the ABCs don't get either. Yeah, the ABCs, which is Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao. Those are all Dutch territories or dependent countries, whatever their status is. But they're still more or less colonies of Holland or the Netherlands. But they're over there close to Venezuela. So if a hurricane it goes in that direction, it weakens because it has to pass the lower Antilles, to get there. So it'll be a weaker hurricane or tropical storm once it gets to that area. DMR, what up, DMR? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Yes, I am in Santo Domingo. I live in Santo Domingo Norte. I'm not going to say my exact location, but I live in Santo Domingo Norte in a gated community. Yeah, I've been here, man. I've been living in Santo Domingo for 2 years. 2 years ago, I started my transition, and I got here full time last year, where I did my I got the visa. So I came here on a visa, the residency visa, so that I can start the residency process once I got here. And now I'm a resident with my cellular and resident card. Yeah, brother. Santo Domingo is dope. I like Santo Domingo for a number of reasons. One thing is the airport. Santo Domingo Airport and the Punta Cana Airport has the best connections in the country. So if I want to go visit my mom, my family up there, I can get there in a direct flight to DC from either Punta Cana or Santo Domingo. If I want to go visit my daughter, she lives nearby, a nearby island in the Caribbean. I can also fly out there, direct flight. So I like being able to get to those two places where if I need to be there instantly, I can get there instantly. Yeah, so in Santo Domingo, it just has a lot to offer, man. I mean, for folks that live in Puerto Plata, yeah, it's dope because you got the beach right there. They have a strong expat community, and if you don't speak Spanish, you can still get by with just speaking English. But I'm in one of the chat groups that basically everyone there is in Puerto Plata. and Sosua. And in that chat group, man, people always talking about how they got to go to Santiago because they want to go to this store, that store, or Price Mart, or they're flying into Santiago because they don't have the connections in Puerto Plata, or they're flying into Santo Domingo because Santiago and Puerto Plata don't have the connections, or they got to go to Santo Domingo because such and such thing they need to buy, but they only have it in Santo Domingo because they don't have it in Santiago or Puerto Plata. So those are some of the good reasons why it's good to be here in Santo Domingo. So I like having access to everything. Yes, the Malecon in Santo Domingo is dope. They have a lot of nice restaurants out there, especially in Gasquay and La Zona Colonial, the colonial zone. I don't hang out much because I don't like spending a lot of money. So, and I find that every time I go out to those places, I end up spending more bread than I plan on to. But every once in a while, I go out there with the wife because I'm married. I'll go out there with the wife and we enjoy it. Yeah, Adrian Tropical. Yes, I've been there a couple of times. I actually knew a guy that worked there. There's an Adrian Tropical on the Malecon. That place is dope. They got some great food. They also have a couple of other locations, like one location, I think either in Naco or Piantini, and they got another location somewhere else down there in the National District. But yeah, that place has some great food. I recommend that joint. That's the good thing about DR. If you need to get back to the States, it's easy. Yes, that's one of the biggest reasons why I moved here. Because one thing, my daughter lives in one of the smaller islands in the lower Antilles. So therefore, being in the States, it was always a hassle getting there. The tickets were always super expensive, and I have like 2 layovers to actually get there, and it sucked. But being here in Santo Domingo, I can get there in a direct flight. Say I need to get there tomorrow, I can get there tomorrow. I like that. At the same time, if I ever got to get back to the States, back to DC, direct flight to Dulles. So I enjoy that. That's why Santo Domingo is a place I want to be, so I can still take advantage of being in the Dominican Republic, enjoying the lifestyle, the laid-back lifestyle, and all that. But if I gotta go, I can go quick. If I can ask you married to a Dominican? Yes, she is Dominican. Yes, I am married to a Dominican. I like the area by the Malecon. Yeah, me too. The Malecon is a spot. Yeah. So there's still a lot on the Malecon that I haven't gone to. There's a couple of restaurants in between Gasquay and the Colonial Zone that I like to go to. They have quite a few like clubs and stuff like that. I'm not a club dude. I'm not a club dude at all. But I would go. Just because I don't go much. But they got a lot of spots out there. Every once in a while, I'll say one of the hotels out there, and I'll hang out for a while. And I'll hang out and go to one of the clubs and stuff. Me and my wife will go out and enjoy ourselves for a night. It's always good to get out for a night, when you spend most of your time, in a house or in your daily routine. I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. You say you're from DC. Well, I'm from Maryland, but the DC area, yeah. So, yeah, I've been through, Wilmington a lot. I got a buddy from the Peace Corps who lives in Wilmington, and yeah, man, it's basically Wilmington is, even though it's its own city, it's essentially like a city suburb. For me, it's a city suburb of Philly. Yeah, 8M not neither, but I did go to Mixers one night. Other than that, I prefer a small spot and chill. Yeah, I prefer the small spots and chill, man. Because those places like Mixers are on Avenida España, which is actually in Santo Domingo Este. So Mixer is a hot spot for a lot of folks who want to go there to be seen. Yeah, a lot of folks go there to be seen, so they want to go out there and floss and show that they got the nice car, nice jewels and nice clothes and girls go out there the chapeado, the chapeadoras. They go out there. That's the spot for the chapeadoras, man. They go out there, and that's what Mixer is, man. That's not my type of crowd. I like to go to like the spots and chill. Look, I'm 37, but I like to be amongst older, mature people that just want to go out and hang out and chill and not feel like they want to be seen by everyone. Yeah, Colonial Zone, it has a block full of clubs, and I went to one. Yeah. The Colonial Zone has a few places like that. I do want to go out to the Colonial Zone more often because I typically, when I first started coming to Santo Domingo, that'd be my hangout spot. But ever since I moved here, I've probably only been there like twice. But that's where all the I guess that's where a lot of expats hang out. That's where a lot of the action is as far as tourists. And I would like to go out there and see what more what Colonial Zone has to offer. Probably do some more videos for the channel and stuff like that. I need to go out and do that. Thanks for the suggestion, DMR. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's only Colonial. Yeah, the Colonial Zone is cool day and night. That's true. That's true. Man, now that I think about it, in Santo Domingo, because I'm always like doing stuff, man. But if I wanted to, I should probably do a weekend in the Colonial Zone. I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk to my wife. We're going to do that because there's definitely a lot to see and do there that I really haven't done yet or been able to do in a while. I eat at this restaurant on the corners. Yeah, little street mall. Are you talking about what's it called? El Conde Cafe El Conde or something like that. Yeah, a lot of historic spots too. Yeah, Cafe El Conde. That's a spot where I would just sit there and it's in front of the big plaza. Then they have Christopher Columbus or something, a statue. Yeah, the Conde Cafe. Yeah, that's it. Yo, that's the spot. The food is reasonably cheap, and you'll see like a lot of people walk by. A lot of foreigners go there. It's a good place to go to if you want to mix it up with other people, talk and stuff like that. That's a nice spot to have coffee. Exactly. It's a nice spot. I think my wife and I, we went there twice in the past 2 years. But yeah, I like to go out there more often because it's definitely a nice spot. Yeah, it's a perfect spot. It's just that because I live here, I gotta do this and I gotta do that. I found myself more going to Piantini and Naco. And those, you'll find a lot of foreigners there. You'll find that's not the place where tourists go. That's the place where rich people go. Yeah, they got some co-presidentes too. Yeah, that's true. And also for you folks who are into like cigars and stuff, they got a nice cigar spot next to El Conde Cafe. So you can sit in that same vicinity and have a cigar and a beer and just chill and hang out and watch the folks walk by. Yeah, Piantini will probably be more expensive than the Colonial Zone. Maybe you guys may be able to shed more light on that. But I think if you were staying in a hotel in Piantini, they tend to have like they have Airbnbs too. But the hotels tend to be more expensive than the Colonial Zone. But Piantini and Naco, that's where they have a Blue Mall. I'm always at Blue Mall because Blue Mall is the center of a lot of like places I tend to go to. For me personally, I like going to banks. I like going to the banks and the malls like Blue Mall because lines tend to be shorter. People don't go to those places to go to the mall to go to the bank, right? So at the same time, I go there to eat. I may do if I gotta do want to get a couple of shopping. I don't do too much shopping in those places, but I definitely eat because they got a lot of cool restaurants that hang out to like drink a coffee, have some drinks, beer, etc. See, do some people watching. Yes, Agora Mall. Agora Mall is my favorite mall. Blue Mall is more, to me, is more centered in like the different places in Piantini and Naco. But Agora Mall is, in my opinion, the best mall because I would actually go there for shopping because they got a nice a lot of places if you want to like shop like for like good prices, reasonable prices, not just buying Gucci and Louis Vuitton. Like nice stuff. Great restaurants too. And they got a jumbo, so I can, if I'm like ever in the mall, I can hang out. And then if I need to do some like quick shopping, I can go to jumbo, get what I need, and then go home from there. Hey, so DMR, tell me, you stayed in the Airbnb. Where you stayed in the Airbnb in Piantini? Can you say like how much it was and like what was it like? Was it a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom? Would you go back to that Airbnb? Was it worth it? For me, I have stayed in Airbnbs before, but not in Santo Domingo. I've stayed in Airbnbs in like Boca Chica, La Romana, places like that. But I never stayed in the Airbnb in Santo Domingo. Look, brother, DMR, consultations, dude. I want people to come out here and enjoy themselves. So I'm not going to charge anyone for no consultation. So if you got questions, brother, you can always hit me up on the email or Instagram. My Instagram is on my YouTube channel. And same name, Profe Gayu. Hit me up on Instagram, brother, and I got you, man. Whatever you need, because I want folks, if they they want to come here to visit, I want them folks to enjoy themselves. If they want to come here to live, I want to be able to share and help people the same way I would have wanted to be helped if it was me. So I'm not that type of dude that's gonna be charging for my time and shit like that because it ain't too much to write an email or write a message to answer a question. Yes, I paid $411 for 5 days and it was nice. She went up on the price and it was a 1-bedroom. Yeah, $411 for 5 days. Sounds like that could be a good deal in Piantini, depending on the type of 1-bedroom. I will catch you brother later. Enjoy chopping it up. Yeah, man, Gil, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Gil. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, DMR. So that could be a good price. I had a friend of mine came by here maybe a month ago, and they stayed in the Airbnb maybe a few neighborhoods away from where I live, and it was a penthouse. I mean, the spot was nice, but they paid like $75 for a night, and I mean it was a penthouse. It was 4 bedrooms. They had a jacuzzi on the roof. It was dope, man. It was dope. So I highly recommend. Yeah, man. You'll find some good Airbnb deals, but at the same time, I know a lot of folks, they don't want to do Airbnb for the security because they feel like if they don't have a watching man at the gate or something like that, they may be vulnerable to something happening. So I understand that, and I understand why there's some people that would elect to use a hotel instead. But yeah, man, Airbnb, you'll find some nice places. But at the same time, man, there's a lot of false advertisement with those Airbnbs. So make sure you're reading the reviews and all that, because there are some Airbnbs that they'll show like the place super nice and whatever, and when you get there, man, that shit is nasty. I went to a place like that and I don't mind. So, and I don't care. I paid. They already have my money, but I don't care. I'm not gonna stay in a place that is like just dirty and shitty and nasty. I'm not doing that. So make sure that you look at the reviews and all that stuff, because a lot of people here lie, man. And it'd be foreigners themselves, not Dominicans. It'd be foreigners themselves that are self advertise and try to cheat you out your money. But good, it was just like she posted, and they had a guard. Yeah, good. That's good. I feel like that's important, because, man, one thing, I mean, you from the States, man. You from Wilmington. People be watching you in Wilmington. They say you got some money. They're gonna have their eyes on you. It's like that here too. Man, they see you walking around. People are watching you. So I wouldn't want people coming here who are just visiting and put themselves in a position, where they don't have the security that they thought they had. So that's good, brother. That's good. So when's the next time you coming out here, man? Yeah. You know how people get down. Same. So when's the next time you coming out here? And do you ever see yourself being here full time? And also, have you been out to like the North Coast or other parts of the DR in October? In October is a good time. I think that in October is where it's like sort of like the end of the down season, and the peak season goes. So peak season, I would say, starts around sometime in November, where prices tend to go up. December, because traveling people in the colder parts of the world will be traveling here more. Yeah, working on full time, man. Yeah, man. Look, man, I tell you this, brother. If you can do it, because, especially like me, I'm a vet. So I use the money I have from the military, in addition to me working, and man, that money goes long here. It goes long, man. And the stuff I can do here, I could never do in the States, because the cost of living is so much more expensive in the States. So yeah, brother, if you can make your way over here, man, do it. I highly recommend it. 'Cause I talked to a couple of people here, man, and you'll find, and within the expat community, there's some folks that come here and they live like regular Dominicans, man. They live on like a tight budget where they're spending under $1,000 a month, and they are just saving money and not doing a whole lot. But you have another side where you have folks that come here and they live like royalty, where they spend it because they got it, but they live at such a higher level than they ever could live in the United States. I have no desire to go to hey, brother, same here. I have no desire. I may pass by Sosua if I happen to be like in Puerto Plata and Cabarete. Maybe I go during the day. I go to a restaurant or something. Apart from that, man, nah, man, no desire to go to Sosua. But I would like to go to Puerto Plata. Yeah, Puerto Plata, man, it's a smaller city, but it's a city, and it still has a lot to offer. It has a lot to offer. I would definitely look at, if I don't live one day in Puerto Plata, I would definitely have some sort of like business or property there or something. But I definitely can see myself in Puerto Plata, but I would probably prefer somewhere else. I'm still on the fence with that. But for right now, Santo Domingo is home. It's gonna be home. It's gonna be where I have my roots here in the country for a while before I branch out and go someplace else. Yeah, but a lot of people, man, they sleep on Santo Domingo, and I think it's because you have Puerto Plata. It's like so much attention is on Puerto Plata and Sosua and Cabarete, and then a lot more attention is on Bávaro and Punta Cana. But people sleep on Santo Domingo, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to do here, man. It's a lot going on here. The thing is, man, it's the damn traffic, man. The traffic is crazy, and a lot of people don't want to deal with that traffic here, and it's annoying, man. I mean, you've been in the DC area or you've been in the Philly area, man, where the traffic is just insane. It's like that here too, but it's worse because people don't respect the rules and they all and people don't know how to drive, and they don't have a lot of big, large roads. A lot of the roads are just small. If it's not 2 lane, it's 4 lane. So a lot of roads are just small, and traffic doesn't move as much. I want to meet Flip Flop. Yeah, man. I met Flip Flop a while back. I met him 2 years ago. I met him the same time I met Flip Flop. I met what's that little big head dude? Bo Rakes. I met Bo Rakes. I met I met what's the name? What's that dude look like Ashley Larry? Mayor Sosua. I met him too, man. He a clown, but he's real cool in person, man. He's real cool in person. Like he's really cool in person, man. But on YouTube, man, that dude's a clown, man. He's a clown. He a clown. But in person, man, Mayor Sosua is funny. He's definitely. I could tell he has some good characteristics about him in person. Now I don't know him personally, nothing like that, but in person, you can read a person and interact with a person, you can tell. Because I even see him. That short time I was there, I see him help someone else, like give money to someone because there was some other expat in a bind where, I don't know, whatever issue where the police and the baby mama, something like that. And he paid, money to make sure a dude was good. So I know he's a good dude just based off that, short time I was with him. Yeah, we need to get up, man. I have a lot of questions. Hey, dude, like I said, DMR, man, I'm here for you, brother. Whatever question you have, whatever question you need answer, you can get me on Instagram or just email me, man. I'm always available. If I don't get to you right away, I'll get to you eventually. But no problem, man, because like I said, I want to make sure folks out here enjoy themselves and have a good time, and they are prepared to be out here. Go to Sosua and Puerto Plata to meet Taylor Made and Flip Flop. Yeah, man, Flip Flop is cool, man. He got a good establishment. Flip Flop is a great networker. And he seemed to be doing a lot with his business and all that, but he is a great networker. So if anything, if you want to be involved with a network and learn a lot about the Dominican system, especially how they operate in Sosua, I feel like Flip Flop is a person to go to. Taylor Made, yeah, I like to meet Taylor Made, but I never got the opportunity, man. But I mean, I watch his channel. I'm in his chat group, and all I know, everything I know about Taylor Made, man, he's a good dude, and down to earth. But he's older, you know what I'm saying? So I guess a younger brother like me would say he tends to be old and grumpy, but at the same time, man, he seems like a really good dude, man. I like to meet him too one day, if I can. I like Santo Tres. I don't know what Santo Tres is. What's Santo Tres, man? What's Santo 3? What's that? The traffic scared me. Yeah, man. The driving scared me. The traffic ain't nothing, man. I was dealing with DC traffic for years. You just deal with it. It's annoying. I don't like it, but you just deal with it. But it's the driving, man. They drive crazy here. They drive like Mario Karts, where they don't. There's traffic laws here, but hardly anyone respects it. Hardly anyone respects the red lights. Hardly anyone respects the stop signs. Hardly anyone respects right of way or use turning signals. Nothing. They just Mario Kart. It's about however I can go when I want to, however I can, without hitting someone and without getting hit. That's it. And then we add on the motorcycles, the motos, man. It's just the worst. It's just the worst. I couldn't believe I seen 3 people in the man. Let me tell you some stories, man. DMR. I've seen everything from women breastfeeding while on a moto. Yeah, breastfeeding their baby. Yeah, on a moto. I've seen little kids, you know, where you have like 4 people on a moto, like 2 little kids and an adult in the back. I've seen someone have a mattress. Yeah, a mattress. I've seen a twin size mattress. I've seen what looked like could have been a full size or a queen size mattress as well. Not a king size, but definitely a twin or a full / queen on the back, where the dude was like, I've seen it where the dude was like he had it had the mattress like this. He's driving the motorcycle, he had the mattress like this. And I've also seen it where they had someone in the back holding like this. I've also seen where they actually have someone had a dryer, no, a washer, a washing machine. They had a washing machine. They driving on a motorcycle with a washing machine. Yeah, man. I've seen someone have you know what's those industrial tubes? Those large, long industrial tubes. I have seen someone had that. The thing probably been like 20 feet. And he had a whole bunch of them. He just driving with 20 feet of industrial tubes, metal industrial tubes, dragging along the road. Man, I seen some crazy stuff, man. I see some crazy stuff with those motos. So yeah, they crazy and they don't respect any rules. Santo Domingo, yeah, man. I like Santo Domingo. I like Santiago too. Santiago is probably a lot like Santo Domingo, but it's just a smaller, less spread out, smaller, and it's cleaner. I don't know if you ever been to Colombia. You know how you go to Colombia and maybe you've been to like, you know, Cartagena or you've been to Bogota, but then you go to Medellin, and how Medellin is just more organized and tend to be a little cleaner and more organized. So basically, Santiago to the Dominican Republic is what Medellin is to Colombia. It's in the mountains or in a valley, and it's just cleaner and more organized. So I like Santiago. I would like to go to Santiago to venture out more. So I want to make an effort to do that as well. And the Colonial Zone, thanks to you and Gil, man. Because yeah, I live in Santo Domingo, man. I need to go out in Santo Domingo more, and especially the Colonial Zone, because the Colonial Zone has a lot to offer. I definitely plan on going to this. They have like this food truck park in Santo Domingo. I think it's in Naco, where basically it's a park and they have a whole bunch of like food trucks with different types of food. And on Friday night, and I think it's Friday night or Saturday night, where it's like a big thing when people go out there and enjoy the different types of food during that in that park where all the food trucks are located. But like I said, man, I'm a laid back dude. I don't do a whole lot. I mean, I work Monday through Friday, and on the weekends, maybe I'll go out to the National District to go to, you know, like one of the malls or something like that. Maybe go out to eat. Maybe every once in a while on a Sunday I'll go out to the beach in Boca Chica. But apart from that, man, I don't do that. I'm in the crib, laid back, chilling. But I would like to make the effort to go out more because there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and I need to do a better job of taking advantage of that and put some stuff out on YouTube too, man. Because a lot of folks like to see stuff like that, and I because of my laid back nature, I don't do it as much as I can. I didn't need to take advantage of me being here and doing it and being able to do that. But I have been going to a lot of resorts and stuff because I know a lot of folks like to see that stuff, and I do a lot of videos on that because I want to make sure that folks get to see the resorts and those hotels for what they really are and not what they're being advertised. No, I meant something to me. No, I never been to Colombia. Yeah, Colombia is cool, man. I enjoy Colombia. I was out there in March. So I went out there with a group of Dominicans, and we went out there and we had a good time, man. We went to Medellin. We were in Medellin for 3 nights. Went to Cartagena for 3 nights, and then went to Bogota for 3 nights. And I don't know about where you at right now, man. But are you in Wilmington right now, or are you somewhere else? But I'm pretty sure that Philly has some direct flights to Colombia, because Philly that's a major airport. So from Santo Domingo and Punta Cana, there are direct flights to Bogota and to Medellin for less than $200 round trip. Yeah, cheap, right? With Wingo. Less than $200 round trip from Punta Cana and from Santo Domingo, going to Bogota and to Medellin. So I was there for a while, and out of those 3, I like all 3 cities, but for 3 different reasons. Cartagena was more like Santo Domingo, where it was very like historic and had like a lot of that Caribbean like vibe. Their colonial zone, or their old like the old city, the walled city. That place is cool, and they also have like a sort of like avenue that reminds me of like Miami Beach. And that area is cool too. That's Boca Grande, and go there and spend some time there. In Cartagena, both very touristy. East Canvas that day. Pablo Escobar sites. And I want to be able to do some shopping. Well, I can do that in Bogota as well. And I just want to be able to see all the sites in Medellin. But I want to go to Bogota. I want to go back to Bogota. Bogota, I wouldn't spend a lot of time in Bogota, but Bogota would be a cool place to be in for a long period of time. Based on my experience, if I were to stay like a month in Colombia, Bogota wouldn't be a bad place to put down roots. I wouldn't do it in Medellin. Bogota would be a good place. Cartagena probably wouldn't be a bad place, but I would also like to check out Cali. I don't know Cali. I like to check out Cali and Santa Marta, and maybe even another city like in the mountains or something like that. But yeah. What's the difference between women in America and the Dominican Republic? So women in the U.S. and women in DR. In my experience, they're the same in many ways, man. I'm gonna be honest. They're the same in many ways. The only difference here is there are less. The Dominican Republic is more of a patriarchal society, where the male is the more of the dominant figure in the household and society, more so than the U.S. So therefore, the dynamics in the relationship are a bit different. The expectations are a little different. Of course, the obvious, the Dominican Republic is a poor country, so the economic situation in the Dominican Republic is different. So that influences how women interact with men. So you'll find that women in the Dominican Republic, older women, I'm not talking about young women, older women, I say 35 and up, they want stable relationships. They want someone who is honest, someone who is stable, I mean economically stable and mentally stable, that too, and someone who just wants them for who they are. You'll find that with older women because I think it's important to do that because that makes a difference here. When women 35 and up in the United States, most women are not like that. I feel like most women in the United States 35 and up are bitter, more negative, and they don't have that. They don't. Many of them are not willing to compromise in a relationship. I'll say that. Where here in the Dominican Republic, they are. Now, if you're looking at younger women in the Dominican Republic, so a lot of people out here, they prefer to be with younger women and not older women. I get that. If you're looking at younger women, I'll say this, man, straight up. Don't expect loyalty, and don't expect them to be ready for stability or ready for a stable relationship. Because, and I feel like in almost most cases, nearly all cases with young women, this is not the case. They're not ready for stability, and they're not ready here, and they're more like an opportunist, and they just not loyal. I'll say that. Because I feel like they still have a lot of hope. When you have a lot of young women in the U.S., I feel like they're the same. Young women in the U.S. are the same, for the most part. So that's why I say whether in the U.S. or the Dominican Republic, it's the same when you're dealing with younger women. When you're dealing with older women, it's different. Yes, women in the U.S. are delusional. For the most part, women in the U.S. are delusional. That's why I say a lot of them 35 or older, man, they are bitter. They're not willing to compromise. They act like they want to be in a relationship, but they're not able to do what it takes to be in a relationship. Most women, they're not really to compromise. They feel like, yeah, man, delusional. So that's it, man. I hope I answered your question, because that's basically it, in my opinion, the difference between women in the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. And Wilmington. So yeah, man. I'm pretty sure Philly has direct flights to the Dominican Republic, right? I'm pretty sure they do. They may not have direct flights every day, but I feel like Philly has direct flights to the Dominican Republic at least like once a week or something like that. But at the same time, I mean, Philly's a nice sweet spot where you can drive it'll take you 2 hours to get to Newark, and you can fly United, you can fly Spirit, you can fly JetBlue out of JFK, or if you want to go, 2 hours to get to DC, you can go 2 hours out of Dallas and use United out of Dallas as well. So yeah, Wilmington is a good spot to be in to take advantage of those direct flights to the Dominican Republic. And not just here, man, they got a lot of good connections as well. Unlike some of those folks live in some of those other cities in the U.S. where the connections are just horrible. That's why, me personally, I mean, I don't want to live in the U.S., but if I were to live in the U.S., I'd have to be on the East Coast. I have to be in some place like D.C. or Philly or New Jersey, Boston, something like that, because they have the best connections. Or Florida, because they have the best connections in the country to the places I want to go to, like Europe or the Caribbean or South America. Yeah, man, get with me, man. Like I said, Instagram, you can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is Profe Gayu, and I got the direct link on my YouTube channel. Also, I got my email on my YouTube channel as well. Yeah, man, reach out to me, man. Any question you got, man, I got you. Because like I said, I'm all about sharing information. If I got it, I'm gonna share it. I'm not trying to make a profit off of information sharing. Nah, man, it's too easy to answer a couple of questions, man. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Yes, but American Airlines changed my flight. Now I got to go to Miami. Yeah, I heard about that. In the chat group, someone, I think it was Taylor Made. Now I think about it, because he's out in Cuba right now, and he had said that I guess he had booked his flight to Cuba through American Airlines, but they canceled the flight, so he had to go through Copa Airlines. I think he said. I hope I don't matter him putting his business out there, but he put it in the chat group. It probably doesn't matter. But yeah, so yeah, American Airlines, man, I guess they've been having some issues, man, out of not just Miami. The Newark airport also had a lot of cancellations this week. So I don't know what's going on. If there's some restructuring going on with these airlines, I know that Pete Buttigieg, he's the Secretary of Transportation, and he put out a statement this week saying that he had a meeting with some of the people, the head execs of a lot of these airlines, saying that they need to restructure themselves to prevent so much disruption and the cancellations of all these flights, because it's not only creating an issue with people, it's creating an issue with the economy, etc. So I guess they're trying to, Department of Transportation is working with the airline companies to work out their issues. But yeah, man, a lot of cancellations going on. I don't know if it's just American Airlines or it's not just American Airlines, because out of Newark, American Airlines is not strong in Newark. That's mostly United and a lot more European airlines. So yeah, there's some issues, man. There's some issues. Yeah, I'm mad as hell. I hate Miami Airport. Miami Airport is I never had any issues with Miami Airport. It's just busy. It's smaller and I guess it's like really congested. Same thing with the airport in Fort Lauderdale, man. I think that airport could probably be more. I don't know if it's bigger now, but it's congested, but it seems to be like bigger. But it's always congested, those two airports. And I hate layovers, man. I hate layovers, especially when you just you already have a long day and you're trying to get to where you need to go. And I hate layovers. That's why, man, if I can, I'll book direct flights. And sometimes I gotta pay more for those direct flights. So I know that United and Delta, I like United and I like Delta. I'm a gold member with United, and with Delta, I think I'm silver. But I haven't been flying that much with those two companies, so they'll probably take that away soon. But yeah, man, I like those two airlines, and I'll fly JetBlue, but man, I would avoid American, and I would avoid Spirit, especially Spirit. They cancel too much, man, and they cancel too much. And JetBlue is starting to cancel a lot too now that I'm out recently, because I tend to use JetBlue when I go out to Puerto Rico, because I go to Puerto Rico every once in a while, because that's the nearest part of the U.S. So if I want to go there to buy a few things or pick up some stuff, I'll go there. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, hit me up, DMR, man. Just hit me up, man, and whatever you got, man, we'll chop it up, man. And hey, maybe if you want to, man, I can bring you on the channel. We can talk on the channel. And if you wanted to, man, we can do it that way. Whatever works for you. It's been 2 hours. I'm gonna probably drop off soon. But let me see where I left off. the transition. I was talking about this and that. I don't know. I probably hit on, for the most part, most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Um, let's see. It's getting dark. Mosquitoes come out at nighttime. That I've learned. Mosquitoes come out at nighttime. But because I'm higher, I'm on the fourth floor. The mosquitoes are not as bad here as they are on the first or second floor. That I have learned. Yeah, man, do that, man. Like I said, hit me up on Instagram or email, or if you want, and if you want to, man, also, if you ever want to come on the channel, you can do that too, man, because I think a lot of folks, they like to see what, normal travelers, their concerns, have their questions answered. They like that stuff. Because people, when they search YouTube, they're searching for questions and like answers to questions and stuff like that. So we can do all that in a video, man. That'd be dope. What else? And that's basically it. I can't think of something I miss. One thing I do want to say about this: people who are either visiting or live here part-time or full-time, they are quick to jump into investing here without understanding Dominican society, Dominican culture, the Dominican system and infrastructure. People are quick to jump into buying here without knowing all that. And that is a no-no. Definitely. Let me turn on the on light bulbs. Give me a second. Let me grab a light bulb. It's a little bit of light. It's a little bit of light. Damn, I'm always losing my train of thought. Uh, damn. Oh yeah, buying. So people who are moving here part time or full time without actually moving here to understand the culture, understand the Dominican society or the Dominican system or the infrastructure or the people, they relax. Don't invest so much money without knowing the system and knowing how the system works. Because look, this place is very different from the United States. Very different. It's not the same. So you can't have the same expectations that you would have for a place that you would be like a house or a condo or a car or land or a business. It's not the U.S. It's very different here. Very, very different here. So it's very important that you actually move here, boots on the ground, take your time to learn the culture, learn the system, learn the people before you start, investing your dollars. Yeah, just take your time. And once you understand how it works, then I recommend you actually go and invest your money. But beforehand, I don't recommend it. I highly discourage it. What else? If you got a vehicle, if you got a car in the U.S. or Europe, where you're coming from, it's better if you can, if it makes sense economically, it's better to bring your car here. But just keep in mind that if your car is older than 5 years, you can't bring it here. So if the car is, for right now, it's a 2010, you can actually ship your car here. But if it's 2016, you can't. And on top of that, your car has to be in working condition and all that. So not have a lien on it. You can't bring a car here with a lien on it. So just keep all that in mind. But it's definitely better to ship a car here rather than buy a car here. But you can always buy a car here, but it's just that it's going to be more expensive. The price is going to be more. What else? Learn Spanish. Learn Spanish. I know that. A lot of folks here, when you come to a visit place and you like it so much, you just want to move there, do it. But definitely have a plan on learning Spanish. I highly discourage you to decide to move to the Dominican Republic and not learn Spanish, because it is definitely really easy to get placed into a community where you're amongst a bunch of expats or a bunch of Dominicans that only speak English, and it'd be really easy for you just to speak English, and you don't want to do that because, you don't want to be lazy because you are in the Dominican Republic, and if you want to really be in part of Dominican society and immerse yourself into Dominican society, it's in your best interest to learn Spanish, to be able to defend yourself when you are, when you go to the store, or when you go to the bank, or when you're dealing with the Dominican government and police or businesses or, family and friends. It's going to be in your best interest to learn Spanish. There are a lot of Dominicans that offer Spanish classes and tutoring and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of virtual teachers as well, virtual classes. I'll probably see in the Dominican Republic more Spanish institutions and companies teaching Spanish virtually than teaching English virtually. Yeah, yeah. Let me repeat that. There are more teachers teaching Spanish virtually here in the Dominican Republic than teaching English virtually. So, yes, there are a lot of sources out here. I highly recommend it. I know this one guy who's an older gentleman from the U.S. He have his Spanish class every day in the morning. Hey, Kiana, what's a good way to learn Spanish? So, the best way to learn Spanish, that is a great question, to be fluent. The best way is to jump into a situation where you can only speak Spanish. Like moving here, for example. If you move to the Dominican Republic and you are around people that only speak Spanish, you'll have to learn Spanish. That's the best way. And on top of that, having some sort of teacher taking classes at the same time. So you can only speak Spanish. At the same time, you're learning the correct way to speak Spanish. And you're actually putting that into practice and you're doing it every day. That's the best way. If that's not possible, say like you're in the United States and you live in a community where that's not possible, the best way to learn Spanish is to one, everything you do, put it in Spanish. I mean, your cell phone, all your settings in your cell phone, all the settings in your computer, the settings on your TV, put everything in Spanish. Watching movies in Spanish, whether it's Spanish audio, English subtitles, or English audio and Spanish subtitles, or Spanish audio and Spanish subtitles, depending on your level. Music, avoid all music that's English. Just listen to music in Spanish. Listen to music in Spanish. Read the lyrics, understand what the lyrics mean, and keep doing that with different songs, and you'll learn. Basically, you're learning Spanish literature. You're learning Spanish poetry through the songs, right? Not only are you learning that in Spanish, but you're learning that in like the informal Spanish or the popular Spanish or Spanish, and then you'll be learning Spanish specific to a particular country, whether it's like the Dominican Republic or Mexico or wherever. So, all those together are the best way to learn Spanish. And take classes. You got to have some sort of reinforcement of correct Spanish, because if you do one thing, you're not going to learn fully the correct way. And you got to be able to have someone who is teaching you to actually help things make sense. That's the best way to be fluent. I hope I answered your question, Kiana. And Kiana, thank you for tuning in with Profe Guy. You please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. And if you have another account on Google, log into that account, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe with that channel too. Good. I'm happy to answer your question. Let's see, what else was I talking about? Yes. So be a part of the community. So it's not only just learning Spanish, but it's also talking to people, starting conversation. And how are you going to be able to do that if you don't know Spanish, right? But even if you're just learning Spanish and you only know like certain words and phrases and all that stuff, just use that and then keep making a point to improve yourself to get better and better. But to be a part of the community, talk to people. If you go to the same Comalo every day, talk to the people in the Comalo. Hey, how you doing? How are things going? How long have you owned this Comalo? How's the business going? Blah, 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 blah. Just spark up small conversation, a small talk conversation, so that you can be able to get to know people can get to know you, and you can be a part of the community, because that's also important. but also be aware what's going on, right? But be a part of the community so people know that, hey, he's a part of the community. Yeah, just talk to people because people they'll see that you're a foreigner, they'll see that you're not from there, and there'll be some sort of curiosity about you. So people are curious about you, and use that to your advantage to spark up conversation and get to know people and learn new things. Because look, when you move here, don't come here with the arrogance that you're from the U.S. and you're better or you're smarter and you're this and that, more money, etc., etc. Don't come here with that. Don't come here with that arrogance. Come here with humility and be humble and be a part of the community, right? So just come here, talk to people, get to know people, and learn. Learn from people here because there's a lot that you can learn from people here, and also people here can learn from you. There's a lot that they can learn from you. You'll be surprised that a small conversation you have with your Uber driver or a small conversation you have with your neighbor, that could be the highlight of their day or the highlight of their year or the highlight of their life that can actually change their life. You know what I mean? You can change someone's life with small talk or with a conversation, just by them learning from you and you learning from them. So definitely do not underestimate what a conversation with people can do. All right, what else? Let's see here. I've touched on quite a bit, but I still like I'm missing a lot of things that notated in my mind that I wanted to talk about. So just to summarize what I've talked about so far for the folks that have just joined in. So basically, I was talking about it's been 2 years since I've been living in Dominican Republic, since I started the transition living in the Dominican Republic. But it wasn't until last year where I came here full time. So I was talking about the things that I've learned, my experiences, and just sharing some information and advice. And I've been getting input from the chat. Thank you, chat, from joining in and asking questions. So again, if you have any questions, comments, please write it in the chat. Para la gente que no habla inglés, si ustedes tienen una pregunta o un comentario, por favor, escribe en el chat. Y eso es. Básicamente, yo estaba hablando sobre dando consejos para los extranjeros que viven o quieren vivir aquí. Por ejemplo, para gente que los extranjeros que vienen aquí tienen que aprender español. Eso es muy importante porque mucha gente aquí no habla inglés, y para ser un parte de la comunidad dominicana, una persona tiene que aprender español y tiene que hablar español para comunicar con la gente. So, básicamente eso es lo que estaba escribiendo sobre todo eso. So, but yeah, if you have any questions and comments, you can go ahead and write it. Every once in a while, I jump into Spanish just for the people who are on here who don't speak English, they can communicate. So what else? So basically, I've been talking about everything under the sun, and I want to see if there's some other topics that I haven't hit on, because I don't want to close a live without touching on some of the key points I want to talk about. So I talked about like banking and using cash and cards. I talked about investing and how you need to learn the country before investing your money. Talked about cool places to visit. And I talked about the weather, traffic, some tourist spots, some annoyances, immigration, residency. Yeah, I talked about quite a bit. So I guess let's not think of something else. One of the last things I want to talk about is travel. So the Caribbean sits between, North America and South America, and also it's sort of like the portion that's closer to Europe. So I do want to say this: the Caribbean is a great place to get to your destination. So one of the reasons why, and I explained this earlier in the live, one of the reasons why I moved to the Dominican Republic is because I want to be closer to my family in the United States and closer to my daughter who also lives in the Caribbean. And being in Santo Domingo, I can get to my daughter in a direct flight and get to the U.S. where my mom and my other family lives in direct flight. But the cool thing about being in the Dominican Republic is you have two large airports here. Two large airports, which is the Santo Domingo Airport and the Punta Cana Airport. So the Punta Cana Airport is the second busiest airport in the Caribbean after the airport in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So what does that mean? That means you'll have the best connections, and better connections sometimes mean, or often means, cheaper flights, right? So if one were to live, I'm going to say people who live here, if one were to live here in the Dominican Republic, you can basically get to any part of the world with a direct flight from Punta Cana. But because Punta Cana is such a big airport with a lot of connections, and it's a huge spot for tourism. So whether you're coming from whether you're coming from Puerto Plata, or whether you're coming from Samaná, Las Arenas, or Santo Domingo, even Santo Domingo has a lot of good connections, but Punta Cana has the best connections. So if you want to go to Europe, whether it's Russia, Germany, Spain, France, or the UK, or you want to go to South America, whether it's Colombia or Peru or Ecuador or Brazil, Punta Cana, and I believe even Argentina, Punta Cana is the spot to get there. So they have the best connections. So for those of you who are unaware of, who always feel like you got to go back to the States to get to somewhere like to Miami or wherever, it's not the case. You don't have to. Here in the Dominican Republic, you can get to pretty much any major part of the world from the airport in Punta Cana, if not also Santo Domingo. So that is a good part of being in the Dominican Republic. A lot of countries, they don't have those type of connections. Punta Cana is the number one tourist destination in the Caribbean. So therefore, those countries that want to come to the Caribbean, they have a connection to Punta Cana directly. So that's the beauty about being in the Dominican Republic. And in Punta Cana, wherever you are, it's not going to be no more than 4 hours away, right? Maybe if you're in Puerto Plata, maybe it's kind of a little further away. It's probably 4 hours away from Puerto Plata, but here in Santo Domingo was just 3 in a car. But they also have internal airlines in the DR that goes from Puerto Plata to Punta Cana and Santo Domingo to Punta Cana. If you don't want to drive, you just want to fly, and they got cheap flights. So where was I? Yes. So if you live in the Dominican Republic, or you just visit the Dominican Republic and you want to go to another country other than your home country, there's likely a direct flight to get there. Also, if you live in another country and you're trying to get someplace else, it wouldn't be bad to go to that place going through the Dominican Republic as well, and for cheap. I mean, I already talked about Wingo. Wingo has some cheap prices. Wingo is a Colombian airline that has, I mean, you can fly from like Medellin to Bogota for like $20, $30. I mean, cheap. And you can fly from Santo Domingo or from Punta Cana to Colombia, specifically Bogota or Medellin, for round trip for like $150, $170. So it's definitely a lot of places you can go to from here. So definitely look at, if you're looking at travel, look at Punta Cana Airport for your connections, because there's a lot of good connections out of Punta Cana. So what else I want to talk about? Let's see. Anyone has any questions, any comments in the chat? I'll probably push this live to 3 hours. And after 3 hours, I'll go ahead and end it. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. I hit on quite a bit of stuff. Mail's a big thing. So I order my mail through, for example, Amazon. Amazon is probably the place where I order a lot of stuff to come here. But as you all probably know, the Dominican mail system is essentially non-existent. They don't have a mail system like they have in many other countries where the mail system is like developed, and they got, you got a little like box where the mail guy will come by here and drop off the mail. And now it doesn't work like that here. So how does mail work? Amazon, for example. If I order something through Amazon or some sort of store in the U.S., I have that shipped to a box. So basically, I use a mail forwarding service through BM Cargo. Again, shout out to my man, United Snakes of America, also known as Q. He put me on BM Cargo. So BM Cargo has an office in Miami. So basically, they'll give you a box there with an address. You have your stuff sent there, and every day a plane will fly from Miami to Santo Domingo, and then they'll take your stuff from Santo Domingo to the nearest BM Cargo office to your location, and then they'll notify you on your account, and they'll send you a notification through email, or you'll probably be checking every once in a while to make sure it comes in. And then when it comes in, you'll get a notification, and then you'll go and pick it up, and you'll pay by weight. So I think right now it's about between 250 and 300 pesos a pound. So it's about $5 a pound. So, that's what you pay. You pay by the pound. What else? So that's what I use for like Amazon. For order something from Amazon, eBay, or Shane, or stuff like that. So mail, like regular mail. So if you need like regular mail from like your federal government or state government, whatever the case is, me personally, I got a P.O. box in Puerto Rico, so I have all my stuff sent to Puerto Rico, and every so often I'll fly out to Puerto Rico to go in my box and pick up my stuff and come back to the States. Come back to the Dominican Republic. In country, the way the mail system works here is basically whatever business you're using, they'll send a runner. they'll send a runner. When a runner means basically someone by like a motorcycle or a car to drop it off. So, for example, if you a store, so say you bought a air conditioning machine, and you bought it from Plaza Llama or something like that. The Plaza Llama will actually deliver it to your place of residence, and they'll install it. Say you bought a TV, they'll deliver the TV themselves to your house. Say if you I don't know, you at a bank and you get a new debit card or credit card, they'll send a runner to your house and they'll deliver it that way. Even a Colmado, so Colmado was like a convenience store, sort of like the local bodega. Basically, they deliver. So say like, I want a couple of beers. You call the Colmado, and they'll send someone the beers to your door. What else? That's basically how it works here. The mail system, because the mail system is really non-existent. So, say if you a lot of things are becoming digital. They're not digital yet, but they're becoming digital. So I know, like for the light bill, some folks get their light bill. Someone will come by and drop it off at their doors. But mine is digital. I use here in Santo Domingo we use Ede Este. What else? Delivering, ordering food. Food here is Pedidos Ya and Uber Eats. So I use Uber Eats. I use Uber Eats a lot. Well, yeah, I use Uber Eats a lot. And I basically use Uber Eats to order, whether it's pizza or whether it's some other food. I use Uber Eats. It's quick, it's cheap, and I can use a credit card. And basically, if you order, you place your order with Uber Eats, and if it's over, I think if it's over 600 or 700 pesos, you have to use a credit card. You can't use cash. And then when they get to your spot, they have to, in order for the Uber Eats driver to close out the order, you have to give them a code to close out the order. And I think that's how they actually how they get paid for that delivery. I mean, you can tip if you want, but that's how they get paid for the delivery. What else? What else? Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, they have like a lot of normal I don't want to say normal restaurants, but a lot of like franchise restaurants you have in the U.S. they have here. I mean, they have places like Papa John's, Domino's, and Pizza Hut. They have those here that deliver, in Little Caesars. They have those here that deliver pizza. They have like restaurants like Outback, Applebee's, TGI Fridays. They got stuff like that here in Santo Domingo. Of course, they got McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell, Subway. Yeah, they got stuff like that. KFC. They got stuff like that here. I mean, if you want that, but they also have a lot of like nice Dominican spots too. They got this place called Jade Teriyaki. So I think to the U.S. that's comparable to like a maybe Sarku Japan. I know Sarku Japan in the United States is like pretty popular in many places. So Jade Teriyaki for me, it's like I don't want to call it a knockoff, but basically like very, 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 very similar to Sarku Japan in the U.S. And that's a franchise that's all over the place here in the country. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's it. They got the department stores, you know, Jumbo, La Sedana, which act as basically in their own right some sort of like super Walmart slash super Target, where they have a grocery side, a large grocery side, and like a department store side where you can, you know, buy clothes and electronics and furniture, stuff for the house, you know, stuff like that. So those stores are all over the place. I mean, basically, I'm gonna be honest. Everything you want, they pretty much have here. They also have those local markets where you can buy like a lot of like knockoff stuff, a lot of cheap food, cheap produce, and supplies. Hell, any stoplight, you'll have a guy, holding stuff. Either he's selling flowers, or another guy that's selling like water or snacks, or they'll sell phone chargers for the car, earphones, Bluetooth. I mean, they sell all this stuff. Like people walking around at the stoplight, all this stuff, like showing you where you want to buy it, and you can buy it. You can hold up traffic if you want to, and make the transaction. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works here, man. You can anything you want, anything you need, you can pretty much get here. And if you can't get it at a good price, you can go to Amazon, order it, and it'll be here. If you have Amazon Prime, it could be here in a week. So things move fast, and you can get things fast. But there are a lot of companies like BM Cargo and Country. I've only had experience with BM Cargo, and I don't have any complaints. Twice I've had an order stuck in Miami longer than necessary, but other than that, I haven't had any issues with BM Cargo. I highly recommend them. Let's see what else. I talked about mail and food in the stores. Services. Services are cheap here. Services are cheap here in comparison to the U.S. Whatever service you need. I mean, I'm talking about food service. I'm talking about, janitorial services. I'm talking about car service. Getting your nails done, getting a haircut, getting your hair done. If you're, getting spa treatment or going to see a doctor, dentist, services are cheap here. Legal services, in comparison to the U.S., is cheap. So that's one good thing about services cheap. However, products can be cheap, but products of quality that is imported here are usually not that cheap. But products made in the Dominican Republic are generally cheap. So the Dominican Republic does make a lot of its products. So if you go to the grocery store and like Bravo, I shop at Bravo for the most part. Sometimes I go to Olay, or maybe I go to La Sedana or Jumbo for a few things. But Bravo is where I do like the heavy duty shopping. And Bravo was a strictly grocery store, but it's a large grocery store. So a lot of the products in Bravo are made in the Dominican Republic, which is good because that means that it's not imported. You don't have that import tax, none of that. So it's usually at a cheaper price. Stuff my train of thought. Yeah, so products that are Dominican are cheap. Like for one thing that's really obvious, that's like it's imported from everywhere else, which sucks that it's imported from everywhere else, are the cars. All cars are imported. And they're not imported in the sense where I mean, they have dealerships here. There's a Hyundai dealership, a Suzuki dealership that I know that are here, but there's not a lot of dealerships for that make of a car. There's more so there's folks that just import or cars, randomly import cars, or regular dealerships. A guy who owns a dealership, whether it's big or small, they'll import cars, or individuals will import cars. So there's no fabrication, there's no factory where the cars are made here. Where you'll go to Mexico, I know Mexico has many factories of cars. Like, I know when I was in Mexico, I saw the Volkswagen factory in Mexico, and I'm pretty sure they got more than that there. There's nothing of that sort here in the Dominican Republic. It'd be great if Hyundai or Honda or Kia or Ford or something. It's one of those companies will come here and build a factory, because not only would it serve the Dominican Republic, but it will also serve Haiti as well. Because at this point, there are no factory of cars here. All the cars are just imported on a boat and of some sort. So that means that prices will always be higher for cars. But if they had a factory here, whether it be Dominican made, Hyundais or Dominican made Kias or whatever, that'd be really good for the country or for the island in general. What else? I'm gonna go probably another 5 minutes and I'm gonna jump off. But let's see what else. What did I miss? Talked about products. Wildlife. Definitely want to hit on wildlife. So wildlife in the country, it's an island. So in the island of the Caribbean, they don't really have any large mammals. Like you'll find in the U.S. where you're driving at nighttime, you're always worried about hitting a deer or something like that, right? Well, here, you're driving at nighttime and you're not driving like in like the center of Santo Domingo. You're driving like a smaller city or the outskirts or the country roads. You need to be concerned about cows. Man, the cows here wander wherever. The cows just wander. In some places, goats too. Yeah, goats. The cows and goats. They do what they want. So very often you'll be driving at nighttime or even during the day and you'll see a goat right there. You'll see a goat right there. Or you'll see a cow right there, just right on the side of the road. Or right in the road. So you may not hit a car. You may not hit hold on one second. Hold on one second. So you'll be probably real talk, you're probably quicker to hit a cow or a goat here in the Dominican Republic than quicker than you would hit a deer in the US. That's how that works. So Me personally, I don't see that well at nighttime. Like the lights, the flashes, especially if I don't have my glasses, the lights and the flashes will basically just blind me, and I have trouble seeing what seeing while things are lit up in the dark. So I've driven a couple times a night here. I avoid driving at night because I can't see, and also I'll be scared to hit a cow. But yeah, uh, wildlife here, as far as like driving, yeah, you only got to worry about cows, and I mean, I guess you can worry about dogs too, but basically cows and goats. Um, if other than wildlife, I mean, they don't really have any like skunks, squirrels. They don't have that stuff here. They just have lizards, and some remote places you'll see like a few snakes, but they don't have any poisonous snakes here. Um, I think they have iguanas in some parts of the island, but I haven't seen any iguanas like when you go out to Puerto Rico, you see iguanas everywhere. Like iguanas is just like running the place. You don't see iguanas here like that, but they do have them here. But you do see a lot of lizards, and they got some big ass spiders. Uh, but they don't really have any like the type of wildlife that you'll see in Europe or the United States or Mexico or Canada or Central South America. They don't have that here. Um, One thing I do want to talk about is driving at nighttime. So driving at nighttime is dangerous here, man. It is much more dangerous to drive at nighttime here in the Dominican Republic than during the day. And here's why. Because a lot of people do not maintain the maintenance on their car. So with that said, because they don't maintain the maintenance on their car, a lot of times their lights don't work. So people will often drive without lights. Not only the cars, but also the motos. So the motos will drive sometimes in the main road or on the side of the road without their lights, so you don't see when they're coming. And they'll have like 3 people in a moto at nighttime driving without a light. It's just insanely dangerous, but people do it. And when you drive in the mountains, man, it's even worse. So when people do use their lights, they use the high beams. They don't have the respect or the custom. Some, but very, very, very few. Very few. But for the most part, people just drive with the high beams. They don't care who they're blinding. They don't care nothing. They're just driving with the high beams, and that's how everyone drives at nighttime. So it's dangerous because sometimes you can easily get caught in a situation where you can't see anything. So I highly recommend, if you can avoid driving at nighttime, don't drive at nighttime. Now, obviously, you're driving like in a city where everything is like lit up and pretty much safe, and it's only a short drive. I mean, that's ain't no thing with that. But if you're driving from Puerto Plata to Santo Domingo at nighttime, don't do it, because those mountains get dark and people do not drive safely. Don't do it. I did it. I drove through the mountains, and like when you go to between Santiago and Puerto Plata, there's 2 routes. There's a long route, which is like less windy and more straightaway, but that's the longer route, where you go through Santiago up to like I guess it's where like Cofresi is, and then you come back down to Puerto Plata. Now there, you can do that, or you go to the mountains where it's a shorter way. You probably save like 45. If it's 2 hours, the long way may be like 2 hours from Santiago. The short way is like 45 minutes. So maybe you'll save like an hour going through there. But to that mountains, it is windy, and you're going up and down and windy, and it is dark. So I drove part of that way at nighttime, in addition to from Santiago down to Santo Domingo at nighttime. Man, it's horrible because people don't drive. People do not drive safely. They're not considerate. Most people are not considerate on the road, and they just are great risk takers on the road here at nighttime. So yeah, but hey, I'm going to sign off any minute now. I think I talked enough about a lot of stuff. To sum up everything, man, I talked about why I moved here, my transition process. I talked about, a little bit about immigration and the visa, and how I recommend you folks, if you plan on living here, to go ahead and get that visa and go ahead and go for that residency and not continuously overstay your visa. I talked about doing your homework, learning the country, learning the system before you invest into the Dominican Republic. I talked about some tourist spots. I talked about some little annoyances about the country, about the institutions and standardization, how there's a lack of standardization in its institutions. Talked about ignorance. I talked about the importance of learning Spanish and conversing and getting to know your community and being part of the Dominican community here. I talked about I chatted up with a couple of folks in the chat. Best way to learn Spanish. Places to see and do in Santo Domingo and elsewhere. Talked about buying cars, products, stores, the mail service. Talked about travel and traveling to and from Dominican Republic and going other places. A little bit about Colombia, cheap flights, connections out of Santo Domingo, and how Punta Cana is the second busiest airport in the Caribbean after the San Juan Airport, which is why many parts of the world has a direct flight to Punta Cana, because it is the #1 tourist destination in the Caribbean and one of the top tourist destinations in the world. So that's why the airport is extremely important, and they're constantly expanding it. What else? Talked about wildlife, driving at nighttime. Talked about quite a bit. Talked about a lot of stuff. I don't think I didn't miss anything at all. So before I jump off, any questions, any comments? Para la gente que habla español, ustedes tienen cualquier pregunta o comentario. Nada. That's it. All right, well, that's it. That's it, y'all. I'm signing off. Thank you for tuning in with Profe Gallo. Please give me a like if you haven't done so already. Please give me a like if you haven't done so already. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you got more than one Google account, log into every single one of your Google accounts and please subscribe for me and give me a like. If you have family, get into their take their phones and subscribe to my channel. If you have friends, take their phones, subscribe to my channel. People at work, take their phones, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions about the Dominican Republic, about traveling, about my transition, or anything at all, hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is Profe Gallo. You can also get the link on my about section of my channel. You can also email me. If I don't get back to you right away, I'll get back to you soon. Consultations, my man DMR asking about consultations, man. Hey man, you got a question, man, ask me and I answer you, period. I'm not one of those type of dudes that charge for answering questions, man. Like, I want you to have the best experience you can when traveling. And I love the Dominican Republic. I want you to love it too. So any questions I can answer for you, I'm gonna answer. And I'm not gonna charge you for it, man. I wouldn't do that. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm signing off. Thank you. And check out my other content. If you enjoy this, you will enjoy that too. Peace.